That's not funny.
All right, Jesse. Once again, we're live. Forbes came out with its top paid athletes list, and unfortunately, for the first time in a while, there's not a boxer in the top 10, but we do have a boxer just below that who's number 11, and that's Tyson Fury. Now let's take a look.
It's my boy.
Yeah, that's my man too. So Tyson Fury says made $50 million in salary, meaning for fights, and a whopping $7 million for endorsements, which is very, very impressive for a boxer, right? Usually basketball players and football players, well, mostly basketball players are the guys that have all the
NASCAR,
correct. Yeah. Those are the guys that have most of the endorsements.
I got
Tyson Fury came in at $57 million in total earnings for last year, I believe it was. For last year. No, this is the full list of 2020. Okay, so I guess this is for 2020. So Tyson Fury came in at number 11 at $57 million. Conor McGregor's at 16. So I'm just going to take a look at the combat sports guys. Okay.
Oh, Conor has that liquor. That's why.
Okay, but yeah, that's true. So take a look at his earnings. Made $32 million in salary and winnings, meaning for his fights, and a whopping $16 million for endorsements. That's a lot of money for endorsements. So his total earnings was $48 million. So that's significantly below Tyson Fury. So boxing is still the king of combat sports when it comes to salary. That's irrefutable. Okay. So now we go down to Anthony Joshua. He comes in at number 19. So this is kind of a shocker because Anthony Joshua used to be the man, especially in the UK. He was the man in boxing.
The Andy Ruiz fight fucked him up, right? I'm assuming.
Well, not necessarily, because he still made two big paydays there, but it says his salary and winnings were $36 million. So he fought twice last year, and his endorsements were $11 million. So all this talk
That's
about
what
him,
I'm saying. Yeah, but if Andy Ruiz if he would have won the Andy Ruiz fight, he probably would have been number one.
I'm not so sure about that. It would have depended on if he got a Wilder or a Fury fight, which he couldn't have done because those guys were slated to fight each other. So I don't know what opponent would have given him a big enough payday to put him up with Tyson Fury for this year, because Tyson Fury had two huge fights with Deontay Wilder. Actually, one big fight with Deontay Wilder. I think he had two other fights this year. I think he fought 3 times this year.
Who did?
Tyson Fury. Let me look at Tyson Fury's schedule this year.
Oh yes, he fought twice. He fought twice, not 3 times.
I can't remember how many times Tyson. I know he fought. Would he fight Otto Wallin?
Yeah, the dude that fucked up his eye, which almost fucked up a payday for everybody.
Yeah, let me take a look.
You remember that fight that his eye was bleeding like crazy?
Yeah, that was a huge cut. That was the Otto Wallin fight, yeah.
I think that was the only fight, and then the Wilder fight, I think, was the fight after, I think. No?
Yeah, the Wilder fight was after that. Yeah,
so
Otto, well, actually, he only fought once in 2020.
Oh, the auto fight was 2019.
So they're trying to say that he got $50 million for that Deontay Wilder fight. That's crazy.
That's a good payday.
So it says that these are for 2020. So I don't know if it's
included. No. You know what it is? 2020 Forbes list is how much you made in 2019.
Okay, so let's see. Paydays for
it's basically like, you know how your taxes are done, like this is how much you made the year before. This is
what it says. Paydays for the world's top earning athletes dropped for the first time in 4 years according to the 2020 Forbes ranking list as the coronavirus wreaked
Yeah, but
havoc on sports.
2020 have it
Hold on,
as
let me finish read. Take it easy now. Slow it down. So, trying to think what this now where this list is. The full list of 2020. That's what it says. So let me
2020 hasn't finished yet. So
I know,
what
but
it
sometimes they come out. Sometimes they come out with this list.
no, what it means to say is 2019. I think that's what it means to say.
I'm not sure. It says 2020. So sometimes they come out with this list halfway through the year. I've seen them do that before. They've done that before. So that's what it's saying. It's saying it's saying cumulative earnings 2020. So this is for 2020. So boxing and MMA, the total earnings was 278 million when you combine all of the top athletes in combat sports. Where look at basketball, we combine all the top athletes' salary. It was 1.3 billion. Look how huge basketball is. Top when you combine all the top earners. So I guess this is saying it's for 2020. It's not saying it's for 2019. So I guess they're going off of the first because half the year's over. They're going it by that. Oh, okay. So thank you, Krista Green. She's saying that you could be right. I apologize, Jesse. I'm sorry. You are right. She's saying that it went from May 2019 to May 2020. So I apologize, Jesse. You're right. So the reason why Tyson Fury did make more than those guys is he did fight 3 times in that time period. Thank you so much for the correction, Krista Green. That makes all the sense in the world. Yeah. So he fought 3 times. I apologize, Jesse. He fought 3 times, and Anthony Joshua and Deontay Wilder only fought twice in that time frame, to my knowledge. Let me see. Let me just look at I know he fought 3 times in that time frame. So let me see how many times Deontay Wilder. Just double check, because they go from May to May. I guess that's what they're doing. That makes sense. Thank you for that clarification. This is why it's good to have knowledgeable people in the chat, because in the article it doesn't say that, but that makes sense. I'll take her word for it.
It makes 100% sense. Yeah.
Yeah, you were right, Jesse. I apologize. So yeah, I guess Deontay Wilder from May. Yeah, so he's got 3 fights too. He fought May, Dominic Brazil, then he fought November, Luis Ortiz, and then he's got Tyson Fury in February of this year. So he's got 3 fights in.
Yo, by the way, shout out to David Sparks. I think he has a fight coming up soon.
That's cool. Now let me see Anthony Joshua. He may have only fought twice in that time frame, so that's why he's below the other 2 guys.
I think so. Yeah, I think that's the reason.
To be fair to him. Yeah, he only fought twice in that time frame. June, Henry Ruiz, and December, Henry Ruiz. So that's why the numbers are a little bit skewed. So he didn't fight 3 times. So that's why. Fury got paid a lot for his plus his WWE appearance. I forgot about that. It was like 10 million. Yeah.
Was it?
Alexander Wilson, thank you so much for the super chat. And I forgot to mention this. Is Fury got paid a lot for his WWE appearance, and I heard it was like 10 million. And also basketball is the second highest viewed sport in the world. It's big in Asia.
Yo, yeah. Would you smack me over the head for this one?
Why?
I put $300 on Gilbert Burns tonight.
Oh, for the UFC?
Yeah.
Listen, I can't criticize you because I'm not a big. I love you. I like UFC.
Is that a bad bet or
how would I know? I'm not that versed in UFC, so I wouldn't know. So again, yeah. So Tyson Fury, 57 million. Anthony Joshua, 47 million, and look at Deontay Wilder right behind Anthony Joshua at 46.5 million, but that's with 3 fights. So he made $46 million in 3 fights. Okay. And he only made 500,000 in endorsements. So look at the difference in endorsements. Tyson Fury, 7 million, and Anthony Joshua, 11 million. That just goes to show you how big boxing is in UK compared to the United States when you look at the endorsement difference. So I guess this proves now that Tyson Fury is not only the king of the sport in ability, but now also in earning power. Think about it.
I think Fury. I think Fury, and I will repeat this to the day I die. I think Fury is one of the greatest boxers to ever live.
I love Tyson. I'm on board with you with that one. I'm a huge Tyson Fury fan. So let me ask you this, and let me ask you guys in the chat and all of the UK people out there. Does this prove that Tyson Fury is the man in the UK over Anthony Joshua? But in fairness to Anthony Joshua, he only had 2 fights in that time frame from May 2019 to May 2020. So he only had 2 fights. These guys had 3 fights. Plus Tyson Fury had that, like Alexander Wilson said. So I love having knowledgeable people in the chat. Thank you, Krista Green, and thank you, Alexander Wilson. Because I totally forgot about that WWE appearance. Obviously, I remember he did it, but I totally forgot about that when I was factoring in the winnings. So he had 3 fights, plus his endorsements, plus the WWE appearance. So
how much he got for the WWE appearance? 10 million?
Like 10 million, 9 or 10 million. Yeah.
For an appearance?
Yep. Oh, let's go back to Canelo, because now here's the problem with Canelo. Canelo was so picky.
Canelo's going to lose to Triple G on the 3rd fight.
Okay, but Canelo was so picky on fighting guys. He kept turning down fights, right? So he only made 37 million, right? He made 35 million.
Only. I wish somebody would tell. I wish somebody would say, Jesse,
here's the problem. He made 35 million. He only made 2 million in endorsements compared to the 11 million that Joshua made and the 7 million that Fury made.
The zone is going broke, right? You did an interview on that. Yeah.
Yeah, but here's the problem with Canelo. In that time frame, let's take a look at how many times he fought from May to June. Because I don't even think. Let me see the time. Let me see what he. Let me look at his.
Well, that wasn't entirely his fault. The quarantine virus came in.
Oh, here's the problem. He fought twice in 2019. Daniel Jacobs and Sergey Kovalev, right? And they're saying he only made $35 million. So that whole thing with the zone and how they pay out that big contract, he was supposed to be getting $33 million a fight, but it doesn't look like that's the way it is. I mean, he has that big contract, but we don't know how that's divvied up from fight to fight. So he fought twice, and he didn't even fight at all this year.
I don't even like the zone. I don't. But me, I'm old school.
Well, I'm not going to say I don't like the zone, but my problem with the zone is they had a very poor first half of 2019, and they had a good second half. So they weren't consistent all year round. I thought PBC had a pretty solid schedule all year round, whereas the zone they had a real slow start of 2019. That was the problem, in my opinion. So Canelo, let me go back to this now and see what number Canelo was at, because he was even below Deontay Wilder. So all this talk about Deontay Wilder not being able to make a lot of money in the sport, and Eddie Hearn sitting there downing how much his earning power is. But people don't understand in the United States, when they report these purses to the commission, they're only reporting the guarantee. They're not reporting the back end money. They're not reporting pay-per-view revenue. They're not reporting whatever the fighter's getting paid and other sources, whether they're getting other types of back-end money. That's not being reported to the commission. What's only being reported to the commission, thank you, D-Style. Thank you for creating the background, too. I appreciate that. They're only reporting what the guarantee is. So everyone's saying, "Oh, Deontay Wilder only made this, only made that," but again, not according to the Forbes list. Not according to the Forbes list, because he had a lot of back end money apparently. According to this Forbes list, if he's right behind Anthony Joshua, he's only $500,000 behind Anthony Joshua. Like, in fairness to Joshua, though, he only fought twice in that time frame from May of 2019 to May of 2020. He only fought twice.
So who's the full 20?
Let me finish, Jesse. Compared to what Deontay Wilder made, in 3 fights, but still, I mean, 3 fights making $47 million or $46.5 million. That's a great accomplishment, man. That's great earning power. Canelo's at 30.
I was going to ask you who's the full 20? What boxers at the?
Okay.
Is it
Alexander Wilson said the Forbes list isn't accurate because CSNBC say LeBron made $94 million during the same time span, while Forbes is saying 88. The list isn't 100% accurate.
All right, but I mean, we're not trying to look. I mean, we're just looking at the list. We're not trying to go.
Again, like it's hard to determine with accuracy with these paydays, because when you talk about fighters' earnings, they're all over the place. Okay, they're all over the place. Let me finish, Jesse. Let me finish. They're all over the place because when you hear certain websites report purses, like for Anthony Joshua when he fought Joseph Parker, some sites said he made 30 million, some sites said he made 40 million. So these numbers are never consistent. So even if this is a ballpark figure, like, okay, one site said that LeBron James made 94, another one says 88. All right, 6 million off. So let's say there's a 10% margin of error here, right? That's still 37 million, 3 fights, still a lot of money.
I was going to say everything's a ball figure. Like, look, I'm a front desk for a high class commercial building. I make over 5,000 in tips. So what I'm basically trying to say is, like, you can't take my salary and look at it like that because I know how much I make. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah, I mean, it's hard to get these numbers down with 100% accuracy unless you're looking at their taxes, right? There's just no way of knowing that to 100% accuracy down to a T. But at least, Deontay Wilder's in the top 20, which is a huge accomplishment for him.
It's a great accomplishment. But I just love that Tyson Fury tops him.
Tyson Fury's number 11. It would have been nice if Tyson Fury could break the top 10. This is the first time. This is the first time in a long time that a boxer wasn't in the top 10. I miss the days. I'm not a huge fan of Floyd as a person, but I miss the days. I miss the days when he was boxing. And every year he was like the highest paid athlete, because then we could brag about, people say boxing's not popular, but yet a boxer is the highest paid athlete every year when Floyd was fighting. So that's one thing I do miss. Now a question to ask is, can we ever have a boxer at the top again? Can Tyson Fury get to that level? We thought Canelo Alvarez was going to get to that level, but he really hasn't.
Well, you know what Canelo's problem. Well, I mean, I'll say, I mean, Canelo's problem is, well, number one, he lost to Mayweather, so he doesn't have the unblemished record. He looks like a white boy, and the white people love him, but he refuses to speak English. Well, like just learn how to speak English a little bit and sell your fight. And I get that. That's like Tito Trinidad. I think Trinidad would have been so much better. Not so much better. I'm just saying he would have got a lot more commercial recognition if he just learned how to speak English. But I understand their point too. They don't want to. They feel like if they learn how to speak English, it's selling out.
Oh, I can't really speak on that, but what I can speak on one thing is you saw how much he made when he fought Golovkin. Okay, that year when he fought Golovkin twice.
And he lost both times. This is what I'm trying to tell
Well,
Brian.
go back.
Beep, did he lose both times or no?
But that's irrelevant. What I'm trying to tell you.
No, but I'm asking you a question.
Yeah, I had him losing both times. But here's the thing. You see how much money he made that year when he fought? So if he was to fight, if he wasn't so stubborn and fought Golovkin, his earnings would have been way higher. You see how much those two fights?
Because he was scared, bro. Because he was scared.
He would have got so much more money if he fought Golovkin at least once in 2019. So his stubbornness and his reluctance to fight some of these fights that could probably get him bigger paydays,
bro. It wasn't.
I think that hurt his earnings a little bit. Of course, he's still making a ton of money. Don't get me wrong. I mean, it's nothing to be ashamed of, making $36 million.
Bro, it wasn't that he was worried. He was scared. He was scared.
Well, I'm not going to get into that. I'm not going to try to dissect what's going on in a fighter's head. I'm not a psychiatrist, and I'm not going to sit there and say someone's scared. These guys are all fighters. They brave enough to get in the ring. So I'm not going to sit there and say that.
I never disrespected a fighter in my life.
This is what you have the question about the zone, though. So if they're saying here that from 2019 of May to 2020 in May, that Canelo Alvarez only made 35. Well, I'm saying only, like that's not a lot of money, but in two fights, that's like 17.5 million each. Wasn't he supposed to be getting like something like 30-something million a fight? Like when he fought Golovkin,
I don't know.
He got like $40 million.
I don't know. I don't know.
$40 million each time, like $35 to $40 million each time he fought Golovkin. So now he's fighting, Sergey Kovalev and Danny Jacobs, and it's saying here that he only got 17.5 million for each of those fights. So it's hard to. I'm not going to sit there and speculate on what's going on here because I don't really know. But this totally contradicts what we were told he was going to be getting paid per fight with that DAZN contract.
I don't know the full details on the
DAZN. Now we know how much the contract was for, but we don't know how it's spread out over those 11 fights.
Well, let me ask you something.
I don't think they're going to pay him.
Is De La Hoya a bad? Like if we wouldn't really get into the nitty gritty, is De La Hoya really this bad promoter that everybody keeps making him out to be?
So now Alexander Wilson's correcting me because someone else in the chat said it was from May. So I guess it's from June 1st of 2019 to June.
But okay,
let me finish, Jesse. Let me finish, please. You're interrupting me when I'm making a good point. I'm gonna have to mute you a little bit because you keep interrupting me. So it says the Forbes list is from 2000. He's saying it's from June 1st, 2019 to June 2020. So in that article, it doesn't really say that. So okay, I apologize once again because I thought it was from May to May. Someone else said it was from May to May. So that's a little bit different now. So I guess the 35 million was for that one fight. So I stand corrected. So once again, by him only fighting that, by him not fighting at all this year, that really hurt his earnings. Okay, so that 35 million was for one fight, not for two fights. So it's not from May to May. It's from June 1st of 2019 to June 2020. Oh, that's okay. Krista Green said, sorry, end of May to end of May. So basically, so it's not May. I understand what you meant, Krista Green. I misinterpreted what you said. So the list is from June 1st, 2019 to June 2020. So Canelo only fought one time. That's why he was so much lower than the other guys. If he fought twice, he could have been in the top 10. He could have earned like
Canelo?
yeah, he could have earned 72 million because he only fought one time where the other guys
Well,
fought three and Anthony Joshua fought twice.
yeah, well, no. I told you the problem with Canelo is number one, he's at welterweight. Number two, he refuses to speak English. Um, there's a lot of and he's beatable. He's 1,000% beatable.
So all these guys from June of last year to June of this year, they all fought twice except for Canelo. So I stand corrected once again. So let's clear this up. So Deontay Wilder fought twice, Anthony Joshua fought twice, and Tyson Fury fought twice. And plus Tyson Fury had that WWE appearance. So that made the difference. That made the difference. But if Canelo fought twice, I think he would have passed all these guys. So Canelo's still probably the man in boxing right now.
I think it depends on who he faces.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like you can't sell me a Canelo versus a nobody and expect me to. I'm not going to watch it.
But this just disproves a lot of what Eddie Hearn was saying about Deontay Wilder not being able to generate a lot of revenue. If Deontay Wilder, it says here, made $46.5 million, because supposedly he got $20 million for that Dominic Brazil fight. Supposedly. And then he's got this. He had this.
You know why I believe
he had this, and then he had this big pay-per-view event with Tyson Fury. So these guys probably got some decent back-end money on this pay-per-view.
But you know what? You know why I believe it? Because he also had this undefeated streak going on.
Yeah.
The fact that he has a loss on his record, so, I know in MMA it doesn't mean much. In boxing, that shit means the world.
So if Anthony Joshua only made 47 million and Deontay Wilder made 46.5 million, then
I just told you what happened, bro. He lost to Andy Ruiz.
It doesn't matter, Jesse. It doesn't matter.
How much did Andy Ruiz make last year? Look that up.
Made $5 million and $9 million. He made $14 million.
14 million?
Yeah.
Okay. Look at that. And after that
it doesn't matter that he lost because he still got a big payday in the rematch. Because the fight was in Saudi, the rematch. It was a big deal, Jesse.
But I'm saying half of that was
Jesse. You're wrong. Had nothing to do with it.
I'm not wrong.
It had nothing to do with it because he got more money in the rematch than he got in the first fight. He got more money for losing because Saudi was more interested in the fight. That made the rematch bigger that he lost.
You're 100% wrong. You're 100% wrong.
Jesse, it makes no sense what you're saying. There was more interest in the rematch. In the first fight, everyone thought he was going to blow him out, right?
Right.
But in the rematch, it was actually looked upon as
but if he had won
in the rematch, it was actually looked upon as a 50-50 fight. And the odds reflected that. So him losing actually made the rematch a bigger fight, Jesse. You're not making sense, bro. You're not making sense.
No, because if he had won that fight, him and Anthony Joshua would have been the bigger payday. I'm making 100% sense.
What do you mean him and Anthony Joshua would have been a bigger payday? What are you talking about?
I mean, him and Deontay would have been the biggest payday.
But there was no guarantee that fight was going to happen regardless anyways. If he won.
They fucked up each other's paydays. They did.
Jesse, it's irrelevant because they were always going to have a problem making that fight no matter what because they had the two sides had issues negotiating.
Did you just hear what I said or did you hear? I said they fucked up their negotiations because first of all, Ruiz was never supposed to be Anthony Joshua, and while I mean Fury was never supposed to be the fight, make the fight even that close. Wilder thought he was getting a 350-pound Fury, and sometimes you get what you ask for, you know. But I want to make a point too. Everybody that says boxing is fixed. Look at fights like this, and that's why boxing's not fixed.
Dana White said Wilder made 13 million against Brazil. Says Alexander Wilson. Thank you for the super chat.
How does Dana White know what the fuck they make?
If you believe him, the AJ Ruiz 2 did 60 million gross in pay-per-view sales in the UK. It was a big fight. Okay, but Wilder Fury did a lot more than 60 million gross in pay-per-view because our pay-per-views are $80 a piece. So supposedly they're saying it did 700,000 times 80. I think they said, what were the numbers? What were the numbers for Fury? Let me see what the actual pay-per-view numbers were for Fury Wilder 2. Just curious. Fury Wilder 2 pay-per-view buys. Okay, so Wilder Fury 2 generated over 800,000 pay-per-view buys, it says here. So let's do 800,000. So Wilder Fury 2 did 64,000 in pay-per-view revenue. 64 million, excuse me. 64 million in pay-per-view revenue. And that's what 800,000 pay-per-view buys. In order for AJ Ruiz, did they do like 1.6 million pay-per-view buys? So they did almost double the pay-per-view buys that Wilder Fury 2 did, and they still didn't generate more pay-per-view revenue than Wilder Fury 2 did. And then add on a $17 million live gate. That's 81 million right there. Okay? And then whatever the sponsorship money was, and I don't know how much that was on top of that. But that's a lot of money right there. $81 million. Thank you for the super chat, Alexander Wilson. So this just goes to show you that you could have all the fights you want in these stadiums and stuff in the UK, but the money is still bigger in the United States. Nobody in their right mind says it thinks AJ Ruiz 2 was bigger than Joshua Wilder 2. I don't think. What do you mean, Josh? I think you meant to say Fury Wilder 2.
Yeah.
Also, Fury fought 3 times during that time frame in Forbes. Yeah, you're correct. He fought 3 times.
Fury
and the other two fought twice. And then also he had that WWE appearance. So
Fury's a boxing god. I compare him to Muhammad Ali.
I'm a big Tyson Fury fan, man. I can't say enough about Tyson Fury. Yeah, so yeah, that is a big advantage. Thank you, D-Style, for the super chat. I forgot to say thank you to you. Thank you so much for the.
Yo, B, thank you so much, bro. I'm about. Should I leave or?
Well, you want to go? You can go if you want.
Yeah, thank you so much for being on.
You seem like you're a little bit off tonight, man. So I'll let you go. Something seems like you just seem like you're a little bit off. So I'll let you go.
Tell you the truth, I'm waiting for the fight.
You want to watch the UFC. It seems like you're a little off your game because you're like anxious to watch this UFC because you got money on it. So I'll check you later, man. Thanks for stopping by, and I'll catch you later. I'll finish this video myself.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry if I let you down on the
No,
video.
I'm not worried about it. It's okay. All right. So now we got Jesse Rican, and I'm gonna finish this out. Yeah, Rican was a little bit off tonight, man. I actually brought him on because he really wanted to do this. I was gonna do this video myself, but Rican called me and he's like, can you please do this video with me? Blah 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 blah. But he was a little bit off his game. I mean, everyone has a right to their own opinion, but I just think he was off his game tonight. So this Forbes list was from June of 2019 to June of 2020. And Fury fought 3 times. Wilder and Joshua fought twice. And Canelo only fought once. So that's why these numbers are the way they are. If Canelo fought twice, it's pretty much a given that he would have been ahead of all of the combat fighters, to be honest. Because if he made $35 million for one fight, $2 million for endorsements, $37 million. You add another $35 million onto that. That's $72 million. He would have been past them all. So, but it's surprising to me that Joshua was only $500,000 ahead of Wilder. So this totally disproves Eddie Hearn's claims that Anthony Joshua supposedly makes 5 times more than Deontay Wilder. Not according to this Forbes list. And then people can sit there and say, well, these numbers are wrong. It's bullshit. Okay, but how do we know they're not bullshit when it comes to Anthony Joshua's numbers? Because in the UK, they don't have to report the numbers to the commission. Anyone can say anything in the UK, and it's just supposed to be taken as gospel. And just like I said earlier in the video, people look at these purses that are reported to the commission. But again, that's only the guarantee. That's not the back end money. So these numbers are skewed. And even if there is a margin of error in these reported numbers, who knows how much they're going to be off, to be perfectly honest with you. So this proves one thing. Yeah, that's true, Disto. And I was just mentioning earlier in the video, the days of Mayweather being at the top of the top athletes list, having a boxer at number 1, I miss those days. I miss those days of being able to say, yeah, everyone says boxing's not a big sport, but why is the the guy at the top of the Forbes earning list a boxer? Unfortunately, we can't say that anymore. So it is what it is. But I'm happy with Fury. Fury was number 11, 57 million. He can only get bigger. I think Deontay Wilder had a great year with 56.5 million. And Joshua, 57 million, 2 fights. Again, this just proves there's a reason why Tyson Fury came over here and signed a contract to fight in America. And there's a reason why Eddie Hearn had all of his fights, a majority of his fights in the United States, because, this is no disrespect to the UK, but this is where the money's at. This is where the money's at, to be perfectly honest with you. Alexander Wilson says, Steven Espinosa did say that the zone offer to Wilder did have to make them reach deep into their pockets to pay him more. Yeah. The zone did raise Deontay Wilder's earning power. It helped him negotiate other money because these other networks had to step up their game. But not only that, look at Fox. You're not going to sit there and say Fox doesn't have a bigger piggy bank than friggin' DAZN. Fox was a lot bigger than DAZN. So just by him fighting on Fox pay-per-view, that's a huge move. So all these people saying that Wilder was an idiot for turning down the DAZN deal, they're full of shit. This just proves how wrong they were. This just proves how wrong they were. Now, do I think he's going to win the 3rd fight against Tyson Fury? No. But again, he had a good... People saying that his career was mismanaged and this and that. If he's making $46.5 million in 1 year, that's nothing to sneeze at, guys. If that's mismanaging your career, then hey, someone can come mismanage my career if I can earn that amount of money. So Yeah, that could. Well, we don't know. We don't know. We don't know. But Wilder probably just started making big money in 2000, second half of 2018. So but even when Joshua fought Klitschko, I think it was back in 2015, if I'm not mistaken. I think he fought Klitschko no, it was 2016 he fought Klitschko, if I'm not mistaken. He got 15 million for that fight. That's when he started making the big money. So Deontay Wilder started maybe a couple years later. But again, if you were to look at career earnings, I think Joshua would be ahead of Wilder. But like I said, Wilder was going to eventually catch up to him, and he did. He did. So he didn't really need the DAZN deal. And again, if he signed that DAZN deal, because Joshua lost, and that there's no guarantee that Joshua fight was going to ever get made, because Joshua was on a fight-to-fight basis. There was nothing signed. There was nothing signed that was going to guarantee that fight. So CNBC reports different numbers, so it's not accurate. Oh, AJ Klitschko was in 2017. No, are you sure? I thought it was in 2016. I double check that. You could be right, though. I thought it was in 2016. So if the numbers aren't so accurate, then Joshua's numbers could be wrong too. It's like all these numbers could be wrong. So I don't know what what did the CSNBC numbers say? What did the CNBC numbers say? Yeah, April 2017. That's correct. I don't know why I was thinking it was 2016. So again, that's when Anthony Joshua started making the big money in 2017. So Wilder started making the big money a year later. So I don't know. I don't know if you would take their career earnings and would they be that much different, because Wilder has been a pro longer. Has way more fights. So if you were to take Deontay Wilder's career earnings and put him up against AJ's career earnings, I don't think they'd be that much different, to be perfectly honest with you, because Joshua's had a lot less fights, and he didn't really start making the big money until 2017. So, yeah, I'm going to check. Thank you for the super chat, Alexander Wilson. I'm going to check that CDC list. I'm going to check that CNBC list. I'm curious to see that. I'm definitely curious to see that. I'm going to see if I can find that right now, and I'm going to do a comparison. Yeah, there's a list. They have a list too. This came out in May of 2020. But they're actually looking at the Forbes list here. View the full site. So they don't actually. I'm trying to find they don't have they don't have it done. Bob Arum did say that the UK pay-per-view and broadcaster did pay a portion of Wilder and Fury purses. BT had to pay big because Sky was gunning for it. Yeah. So that's what helped out. I said that too, but I wasn't sure that Wilder was going to get. I knew that Fury was going to get a piece of that BT, but you could be right, because the way the pay-per-view was structured, that it was supposed to be 50-50 down the middle, so that could have factored in the BT. That's why I love having you in the chat, Alexander Wilson. You're a huge help, man. I don't know. I don't know everything. I try to do as much research as I can, but sometimes I miss stuff. Sometimes I miss stuff. So there was no woman at all in this list. They're saying too, which is like Serena Williams and none of them. So Roger Federer, the tennis player, is number one. $106 million in total earnings over the last year. That's huge. I remember the years when Floyd used to make like that year he fought Pacquiao. He made like 300 million that year. That was sick. How crazy was that? How crazy was that? Yeah, I'm trying to find the full list. I'm trying to find the full list for CNBC. But okay, more items. They only have the top 10 here. They don't have the top 50. So I don't know. They have Roger Federer, Cristiano Ronaldo, Lionel Messi. Yeah, they only have the top 10, so I don't know what the rest is. They don't have a Roger Federer tops the Forbes 220 list of world's highest paid athletes. Yeah, so they have an article here, and they're referencing the Forbes list, basically. So I don't know the other list. If you can show me a link to that list you're talking about, I'd appreciate that because I can't see it. So they're referencing the Forbes list. So I don't know. I don't know how accurate these lists are. I'm sure there's a margin of error, but I don't. But to how big of a degree there is, I don't know. But yeah, So this just proves that Wilder is really not as low on the totem pole as Eddie Hearn was saying. So it'll be interesting to see if Wilder could beat Fury, and then they negotiate a Joshua fight. Joshua can say all you got to do is look at Wilder can say to Joshua all you got to do is look at my earnings on Forbes compared to yours. I wonder what Eddie Hearn has to say about this. But it is what it is, man. I think Tyson Fury, though, has separated himself from the pack, definitely. There's no question about it. There's a reason why that WWE wanted to deal with Tyson Fury and not any of the other boxers, because he's definitely proven that he's a big name in the sport, without question. All right, guys, thank you so much for joining me. Make sure you check out the Ringside Reporter podcast tomorrow. We'll definitely be on there. I'll have some great topics. And Jesse Rika, thank you for joining me. And once again, guys, thanks for all the super chats. Thank you for the support. And I will see you tomorrow. Have a great night, everyone. Peace out.